Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Drop the Mic Live Mic. I'm Shannon E. It is Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. You already know what time it is, okay? Hopefully, you guys are settled in and settled down and ready for Drop the Mic Live Mics. Great candid conversation on tonight, okay? I need you guys to go and share this live as I speak. I just want y'all to get acclimated and share this live with everybody that you know. Share this live with everybody that you know. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram right now, I want you guys to share this live. Okay, you will not be disappointed. All right. Yeah, so tonight's topic of conversation is going to be entitlement, because I have been receiving this message all week long. Okay. That was not going to be the conversation for tonight. However, I could not let that pass for some reason. It just kept coming to my brain. Entitlement, people feeling entitled, being entitled, the behavior of entitlement, the display and disappointment in behavior of entitlement, and people, places, and things that we deal with each and every day who either subject people to this behavior or actually subject themselves to this behavior, right? And in turn is subjecting others to this behavior. Okay. We have a lot of people out here who are definitely entitled, feel entitled, reference the behavior of entitlement, and we misconstrued it with regular basic things that's going on, right? Or other labels and other titles that we know of to be going on, right? And in reality, it's not. Okay. Entitlement is a word that is in a behavior that is on its own. It has its own full-fledged definition. It has its own full-fledged behavior. And it is definitely separated from other behaviors and wording. Okay. If you know, you know, right? If you know, you know. But if you're just like living day to day and you're just like kind of used to toxic behavior, or you come from the same background as someone else, or you are more relatable when it comes to negativity, when you are more relatable when it comes to trauma, things like that. If you are not on a journey where you're trying to heal and you're accepting of all things, right, that comes with negativity, then you're not going to see someone in a full-fledged entitlement space. Okay. That looks different to some, right? And it is solely based on the behavior of, I want to say, healing or not. Okay. I'm just going to keep it funky. Like, it's all the way that. Okay. Now, the thing is, entitlement behavior or entitled behavior can come in the form of everyone. Like, no one is exempt, right? We have the children that are extra entitled or whatever case may be, because we're actually raising them to be like that. And then we have the children who are taught no different as they grow or whatever, and they become the adults that are entitled. Okay. It has no face, it has no race, it has no case, it has no pace, right? It is definitely something that any and every one of us can have in a certain to a certain extent. And to be quite honest, like, we kind of all have a little bit of sense of entitlement, right? But like everything else, like, there's a healthy balance. Okay, there's a balance. We have the good and we have the bad, we have the indifferent, we have yeah, it's pretty much that. Hold on, I'm gonna like share this live with some people as we go. As I'm sitting here sharing this live with people, I want you guys to think about the people you know who display these behaviors of entitlement, and what does it look like to you. I know that there has been a once or twice, type of thing with the people, places, and things that's been around you, where you are feeling like, this person feels like they're entitled. Like, they're entitled to have, this from me, or they're entitled to have that from me, or they're entitled to my money, or they're entitled to just be entitled. So we do know these people. Hold on. So we do know these people, places, and things, okay? And it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a real thing. It's not something that can be denied. It's not something that we don't know is here. But because this message kept coming to my brain all week, right? And it actually deterred me from going to another message. Like I woke up on this, like I seen it, with the children. Um, I don't know, it just kept coming to me. It kept coming to me. So because it kept coming to me, I felt the need to speak on this or whatever. Because entitlement, even though it is normalized, and even though sometimes it's so normalized that we don't really understand if we're seeing it or not, it is a behavior that causes more trauma. Okay. My old followers, y'all know what's up. Y'all know what's up. Like, Drop the Mic Live Mic is definitely all about like figuring out the behaviors. Like, I need to know. Okay. I need to know what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? It's funny story, because a lot of the times when I am speaking to people, right, they know that I graduated from college, right, with my psychology degree. And in psychology, you want to figure out certain behaviors, right? That's basically the gist of psychology. But I didn't go for clinical. Let's just be clear. I'm not here to diagnose anybody. I'm here to understand why is why. Okay, don't let that go over your head. I'm here to understand why is why. Okay. And in saying that, and understanding why is why, it's kind of like I always want to know what this behavior stem from. Like, why do people act the way they act? Why do people respond the way that they do? Why do people, what's going on? Like, what's going on in their brain in this moment? What's happening in that moment? Things like that. So entitlement is something that I'm interested in knowing about. I don't understand it. Just to be clear. So we're just going to get started real quick. For all the people out there who use the word entitlement and don't know what it means, right? They just be labeling like they know what it means because they know the feeling. They know what they feel, but they don't actually know like the meaning of entitlement and like what it means. So we're just going to get into that, and we're going to keep it moving. Share this live. So the fact of having a right to something is the first definition of entitlement. Okay, that's the part that we know of, is like, okay, well, we feel like we got a right to that. Like, so, we're deserving of that. Rather, that's what we thinking in our head. We might be like, we have a right to it, but the response in our head is like, I deserve that. Okay. The second meaning, the amount to which a person has a right. Okay, so now we're getting into how much of a right you have for this thing, people, places, and things, or whatever the case may be. How much of a right you have to it is the second part of the definition of entitlement. Okay, you see how we get in more and more in depth of, because it's mine. When it comes to entitlement, it starts off with I deserve it, then it starts off with how much I deserve. Then it goes into how much I deserve. The third definition of entitlement, the belief that one is inherently deserving of privileges. Okay. So not only do I deserve this, I deserve a lot of it. And then I also deserve, I deserve the privilege that comes with it. Okay. So that was the three definitions for entitlement. I bet you guys didn't know that. And yes, I'm going to go to the dictionary, because listen, we need to really understand that. In order to really fully understand people, places, and things, sometimes you got to pull out the book. You got to pull out the blueprint. It just is what it is. You got to pull out the blueprint so you can actually like tap in for real. Okay. Because we like to label and say things all the time, and we just like to do what we like to do. You know what I'm saying? But it's not all the time accurate, and it doesn't solve problems. It does not solve problems. So we got to get right. We got to get right. So those are the three things, right? So what are the three types of entitlements? I read the three definitions. What are the three types of entitlement? We have normal entitlement. We have inflated entitlement. And we have compromised entitlement. I think that if I can beg to differ, I would say that we are used to inflated entitlement. Okay, let me read to you guys what inflated entitlement is. Inflated form of entitlement is when a person displays narcissistic personalities. Okay, but the only thing that's different between a narcissist and entitlement is that narcissists, they like to keep the energy on them. Like they like to keep that selfish or self-centered, whatever it may be. They like to like just focus in on them, like it's about them, right? Whereas an entitlement is more like it is about them, but it's about them, how can I say it? It's about them, but in relation to how they are relating to others. Okay, all right, so it's kind of like, I deserve this, so you should be doing this. Okay, a narcissist is like, I'm deserving of this, so this is why I'm doing this. You get that? Like, you see the difference in that? There's a difference. Okay. So, but however, it's all narcissistic behavior. That's what inflated entitlement is. It's like you're like so big in your head with this entitlement thing that you're becoming narcissistic with it. Okay. You really believe that you're somebody that you're not. You really believe that you're this and this is happening or whatever the case may be because you're so narcissistic in your head. It goes hand in hand. They tell themselves that they are something or someone that they are not. I just said that. Inflated. You're telling yourself in your head that you're somebody that you're not. How many people know of people that you can sit there and be like, all right, they really be doing a lot. Like they really think that they somebody that they not. And that has nothing to do with confidence. Okay, that is inflated narcissism. That is beyond confident. That's not even confidence. It's not even confidence, and I'm gonna get into that in a minute. That's not confidence. I just want to be clear because I know a lot of people will look at that to be like, oh, well, that's just being confident or whatever. No, that's not being confident, sweetheart. That is not being confident. There are a lot of people, places, and things out there that think that they are somebody that they are not. Okay, and the actions will tell you that. Okay, the actions are going to speak louder than those words. All right, and that's how you know that they think that there's somebody that they're not. Okay, inflated entitlement. Normal entitlement. Okay, so we have the good and the bad with everything. We have the balance with everything. We are healthy, and we have the mental health, and we have the mental illness. So it's like everything has the poop and the poop and the black and the white and the, So when we have normal entitlement, okay, it's like a sense that you have the right to want things even if you might not get them. Okay. So once again, it might be like a deserving type of thing or whatever case may be, but you could just be like, yo, like I really want those, whatever, but I know, realistically, going back into the realism of things, I'm not gonna get that. Like that's not realistic right now. You know what I'm saying? Like you still have a sense of awareness of who you are and where you are and what you are in life in that moment or whatever the case may be. But you feel like I could get that. I could get that at some point when I'm there. Okay. So that's a normal sense of entitlement. Like you can see yourself somewhere else, even though you're not there in this moment. 100% healthy. 100%. Why not? Okay. Then we have compromised entitlement. All right. The compromised entitlement, baby. The compromised entitlement. Okay. The compromised entitlement is, the inability to expect the basic rights enjoyed by those around one. Okay. For those in the back who didn't quite understand that, I'm going to just say that again, and then we're going to go into like what exactly does that mean, because I'm not going to lie to you guys, like I had a little struggle with that as well. Like, what that mean? Like, what do that really mean? You know what I'm saying? So it is the inability, right? Meaning I'm not able, right, to expect the basic rights enjoyed by those around one. Okay. So if you feel like the person that's around you don't deserve that or whatever the case may be because you don't deserve that, then that's a compromise entitlement. Like you low key feel like if I can't get that or whatever, what make you think that you can get that? Compromise entitlement. And who are you to feel like that? Who are you to feel like that? Compromise entitlement is a sneaky little somebody, baby, because let me tell you something. We don't like people out there be really on that. And we don't be calling it entitlement because we don't know if it's to be entitlement. You understand what I'm saying? But we know the energy be off. We be like, well, what make you think that why I can't get that? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? However, we do not see that as compromise entitlement. Okay. But that is compromise entitlement. Like, girl, how you gonna get that? And I can't get that. Even if they don't say it to you, they show it in their actions and they may just say it to you. Okay. And why it's entitlement is because nobody has the right to tell you when, where, or how you can get whatever. Okay. Because your situation look like your situation and my situation look like my situation, and whether my situation look less or more than yours does not define or give you privilege to define, what I'm deserving of. That is compromise entitlement. Right. Whoever didn't know, y'all needs to know. Okay. Because people be out here saying stuff. And yeah, we don't always know what it means. But we gonna learn on Drop the Mic Live Mic. Okay. What kind of a person is entitled? What kind of a person is entitled? Like I told you guys from the beginning, there's not a type. There's not a type when it comes to entitlement. I don't feel like there's a type. You understand what I'm saying? I watch from the little smallest babies who we expect entitlement from, be entitled, to the oldest of the oldest people in our lives, be entitled. And y'all know these older people be entitled, child. Okay. I'm just gonna blame it on the fact that when they get older, they start regressing, they start acting like babies again. And most of the time, babies are spoil you, so they're extra entitled. Okay. But even with that, I feel like it's a little different, and I might get into that later as well. But for the most part, babies are considered to be entitled. You must do what they say, and there is no other way. Okay. So what kind of person is entitled? Ooh, a person that expects recognition for their experience and their perspectives, okay, and show little interest in learning from others. In an overall sense, in a general sense, that is what a person that is entitled looks like, okay? They don't want to learn nothing and they know everything. When you try to teach them something, they are offended and look at it to be ignorant rather than look at it to be genius, okay? And that they need to learn, that they can learn from something. They can learn. They are open to learning. No, entitled people are not open to learning. They already feel like they know everything. So it's like, what can you teach me? Like, they're like low key haughty, like, meaning like, I'm smarter than you. So it's like, what can you really teach me? Like, what can you really teach me? Like, I know everything already. So it's like, what can you really teach me? And if you're trying to teach me something, like you're low key insulting my intelligence, and maybe you're just trying to comfort me because of something else, like that is what an entitled person will give. Okay. That is what it will give. They expect recognition for everything that they do because they are so smart and so genius and no one else is like them, right? But you got to like be on them, like you got to show you they know everything and they know how brilliant they are, but then you have to go like and tell them as well, and you have to recognize and you have to acknowledge how brilliant they are, and then you have to let them know that you recognize it and how brilliant they are. Like, this is what it is. What is the cause of entitlement? What's the cause? What is the cause of entitlement? What is the cause of entitlement? I told you guys, because entitlement has no face, it has no size, it has no age, it has no gap, it has none of that, right? We more than likely adults that have certain behaviors that stem from when they were children. Okay. They never broke the cycle. They never attempted to break the cycle. They were one of those students who came from a situation and was a product of their situation, as opposed to not wanting to be a product of their situation. Okay. So, story time. How I know? Give you guys an example. Um, there was a little girl, right? There was a little girl. Okay. Uh she put her hands on a little boy. We're talking about children here, okay? She put her hands on a little boy, and she put her hands on the little boy because the little boy called her a name, okay? And when she decided to put her hands on the little boy, she went in on him with putting her hands on him. Like, she didn't hit him once, she hit him a few times, or whatever the case may be. And in his defense of trying and attempting to defend himself, he accidentally hit her, right? When the story came back to now the adults, okay, because obviously getting hit back was not what she expected, okay? When the story came back to the adults, the story came back as if, yeah, I hit him because he called me a name, but he wasn't supposed to hit me back. I don't know when, where, and how baby girl learned this behavior, right? But it definitely had to be learned behavior, okay? And it just reminded me of the women as we become women who do these things, okay? Curse out the man, argue with the man, call him all kinds of names, or whatever the case may be. He called her out her name that one time after she done went off on him thousands of times, right? And he goes off on her one time with the name calling her outside her name, and now she want to fight. Now she want to get physical, right? Because that whatever he called her is stung. It hit hard, right? So now she want to fight. She want to fight. So she goes and she puts her hands on him, or whatever case may be. God forbid he hits her back. But if he even defends himself, right? Grab a hand, grab an arm, grab a wrist, or whatever, push her, get out her way, but like dodge, she hurts herself or whatever. All different type of scenarios. We know how this thing could go. We know the different type of scenarios that happens and how it could go. Now 911 is called. All the family in the world is being called. All the friends is being called. It could possibly escalate to a greater situation that is a worse situation in turn. So when I tell y'all that this stems from the young to the old, this is what I mean. Okay? The trauma of the older person that displays this behavior comes from something underlying in childhood. Okay? But what? Like what, Shannon? Like what? These are the things that I'm trying to figure out. These are the things I'm figuring out. Okay. And I did some research and I got something for y'all. So, an attempt to overcompensate for past wrongs. If a person was ever done wrong, okay, neglected, mistreated, manipulated, suffered any type of trauma where they had no voice, okay, where they felt like they had no voice, okay, they could not defend themselves. Yeah, as an adult, they're gonna like overcompensate and they're gonna demand their respect And in the demanding their respect and overcompensation, they're always going to demand their respect at the wrong time with the wrong people and the wrong things. Like, that is what usually happens. Okay, they get into the world from their world as a child, and they come into the world and they say to themselves, I will not be disrespected. Okay, I will not be played. I will not be manipulated. I will not suffer. I will not, they are the I will not click. But they come into the world of people, places, and things that know nothing of you. Could care less. Didn't hurt you. Not a part of your trauma. Okay? So you giving all of the energy, right, to the people who had nothing to do with you. Overcompensation. Okay, and we know a lot of those people. We know a lot of those people who are just always on go. Like, it's like you always on go. Like, why you always on go? It's one thing to defend yourself, and it's one thing to know, like, listen, don't even play with me like that, because I'm a victim, not a victim, but I'm her, you know what I mean? But it's like defending yourself and just always being on go is just two different things. When you see a person on go, and for the people who don't know what on go is, it is a thing where people are all the time in defense mode. Like, why are you always in defense mode? Like, you don't accept anything. Like, you don't accept the fact that you're a human being. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have feelings. People are gonna have feelings. You're not always gonna click. You're not gonna always get along. There are gonna be differences in opinions. Like, you're not accepting of those things. Like, you just block off all of that, and it's just like, it's me. I'm here. Yeah, those are the people that's on go. That's what on go means for those in the back. Okay. But I want to let you guys know that that's not normal. Like, that's not normal. A lot of y'all know that that's not normal, and a lot of y'all accept y'all non-normalness, right? Y'all accept the fact that y'all are always in defense mode, and y'all accept the fact because it protects y'all, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? But you have to grow and understand how to protect yourself in different ways. Okay? We have to grow. We have to grow. We have to grow. We have to grow. We have to grow and learn how to protect ourselves in different ways. Okay. And just a suggestion. Peace is power. Okay. Less is more. And silence is loud. If you caught it, you caught it. If it's a jewel dropper. If you caught it, you caught it. You understand? But that's what it is. Other than that, yeah. An attempt to overcompensate, your past wrongs. Most people who have suffered from neglect, maltreatment, unfairness, as a child tend to demand their respect as an adult. Period. Entitlement goes hand in hand with unearned self-esteem. Entitlement goes hand in hand with unearned self-esteem. Let's really talk about it. You somebody, right? You somebody, but what made you? Who? Like, what you did? Like, how? How? You have all of this self-esteem, right? But you didn't really earn it. You didn't earn it. Okay. I know people be like, well, how do you earn self-esteem or whatever the case may be? Well, most of the time when people have a high self-esteem, right? Or have, yeah, a high self-esteem. It is not based off of like your success or anything like that. It can be, but it is not necessarily. It's just it's your character. It's your character. It is who you are. It's in you. It's your character. If you have a high self-esteem, it's because normally, right, or technically, you are a good person. You're a kind person. You're a good-hearted person. You're an open-hearted person. You have a big heart. You know how to resolve issues. Like, you're peaceful. You know what I mean? Like, what else? You're just like a well-rounded individual. Okay, it's your character. If you know that, then you know that. And that's what builds your self-esteem. Okay. You can tell yourself that, right, based off of your actions, but then it'll be other people that you deal with on the interaction on a daily and things like that that will, tell you things like, I'm proud of you. Like, you're doing your thing, keep doing your thing, um you're a very intelligent person, you are a smart individual, you're going places, like, just all of those compliments that compliment your character, your integrity, you who you are, like, all of those things, okay, makes you know that your self makes you know why your self-esteem is so high. But if you don't display any of those behaviors and you are not a nice person and you are not a kind person and you are actually the opposite of all of those characteristics, but you got the nerve to walk around with high self-esteem, baby. That's what entitlement is. It is a go hand in hand with unearned self-esteem. Okay? So why is being entitled so bad? Why? Why? Oh, why? Why is being entitled so bad? Because of all the things that we just named. Because of all the things that we just named. Many people with a sense of entitlement can express personal insecurities. Can experience personal insecurities. Okay, this is the part of entitlement where shit get real. Okay, because this part of entitlement is the part where the entitled people that have all this high self-esteem, like, becomes their real self. Okay, this is the unearned self-esteem and what it goes back into. Okay, you have a sense of entitlement, but you're really not that secure. You're not that secure. A lot of y'all are very insecure. Okay, and a lot of the times when you're a loud individual, is because you're overcompensating for something. Insecurity breeds loud. Okay, it just does. I don't know why, but it just does. It keeps going back to that word overcompensating, 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 or whatever. You're trying so hard to not be something that you are. And you're trying so hard to not be, to not have other people aware that you're this person. Okay? But the truth of the matter is, if you're dealing with a lot of personal insecurities as a person, it's more harm than not. Okay. And entitled people usually are dealing with a lot of insecurities, and it is more harmful than it is helpful, not only to themselves, but to others around them, but especially to themselves. Okay. You are in a constant battle in your head. That wasn't never good for nobody. Mental illness 101. Okay, you're always in your head. You're always in your head. Like, you're always in your head. You're always in your head. Entitled, always in your head. Because you're dealing with a lot of personal insecurities. That's just one bad thing. They seek a lot of attention in their behavior, which can isolate them from people in their lives that actually love them. Self-sabotaging. I've been around people who I'm like, I just want to love you. Like, I just want to love you. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I just want the best for you. I just want to love you. Like, I want you to be able to receive love. Like, and because you're so like somewhere else in your entitlement, you can't even see, what we call a real one, but you can't even see when a person is actually being genuine with you. You can't see that. Hence, because you're not being genuine with yourself and you're not trying to be genuine with the people around you. So you can't receive that. If you're dealing with insecurities and you can't receive love and you're trying to hide who you are and you're constantly in your head, that is a recipe for disaster. Okay? A recipe for disaster. It don't add up. It just don't add up. It's not adding up. The math is not mathing. It's just not. It's not happening. It's not. It's not. No. Okay. Mm. The seeking a lot of attention part, like I think that just comes with the territory. Like I just think that like once you start behaving crazy or whatever the case may be, like it's just like yeah, they watching me. So it's like, yeah, let me do it some more. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the behavior that you get from it or the responses that you get from it, you like it. Like, you like it. Even if it's bad sometimes, I noticed that with children too. A lot of them that are attention seekers, they don't care, like, if it's bad. You know what I mean? Like, if the energy is off or whatever the case may be, as long as they getting the attention, that's what it is. That's what it is. Entitlement. Entitlement. How dare you not pay me no mind? You know who I am? No. How dare you do this and how you do that? You know what I am and who I am. And it's just like the sad part about it is, and in other categories too, but because we're talking about entitlement tonight, the sad part about the behavior of entitlement is because you go out your way to do too much and you're still not getting what you want. You're not getting what you want. Like, and you're not getting what you want from nobody. So that's like a double injury. Like, it's kind of like you got into a car crash and then like you fell off the bridge too. Like that's crazy. I ain't want to go there. I ain't want to be that drastic with it, but that's really how it is. Like that's really how it is. And the reason why I'm looking at it like that is because it's like, yo, you've been going through this your whole life. Like you've been going through this your whole life with people not with your insecurities of feeling. Because I ain't gonna blame it on the people, but with your insecurities, right? And no, let me backpedal because you may have went through some shit when you was a kid. You know what I'm saying? We're not being able to speak up for yourself and stuff like that. A lot of people dismiss children. They really do. That's a real thing. So maybe you went through that. You know what I'm saying? But that was the car crash, right? Now you become an adult and you out in the world and you just going crazy or whatever the case may be. So now you're like off the bridge too, like you're falling off the bridge. We got to stop that. We have to change that narrative. We have to change that narrative. Okay? For yourself, you have to change the narrative. You're gonna be an entitled adult that has entitled children, and the funny thing about it is you might not even you might not even have your children being entitled. That's crazy because you're the only one that could be entitled. Like, just saying. So what can what can and what will being entitled do for your mental health? Okay, long story short, we are focused on the mental health aspect of things. We're definitely gonna always have love, laughter, and honesty on Drop the Mic Live Mic. So laughter is great for your soul. We're gonna lighten this thing up a little bit, but the gist of Drop the Mic Live Mic is mental health. Okay, mental wellness, self-care. I just want to make sure y'all all right. I just want to make sure y'all all right. And at the end of the day, like, this safe platform is therapeutic. Okay. So how is it that entitlement goes hand in hand with mental health? We named a few things. I want to say that the conflict in relationships and unhappiness to me is like the most important. Like, um the more you're in your head about something, the more you're conflicted in your mental state of mind, is the more unhappy that you are, and is the less joy that you bring to others. Okay, like I said, forget the outside world and forget friends and family or whatever the case may be. Entitled people have children. Okay, if you are a person who displays entitlement, entitled behaviors, um, and have this energy about you all day long, like that means that you gonna be wanting more attention than your child. Like, you're gonna be wanting more attention than your child. You're gonna be wanting. You're not gonna even see your kid, yo. Like, you're not gonna see your kid. Imagine being the adult in a situation that want more attention than their child. Like, y'all going out together, people complimenting your baby and all of that kind of stuff or whatever, and you're just like, with this entitlement characteristics that you are displaying to everybody else, you're displaying it to the person right now, and it's like more of everything is about you. So that's the concerning part. That is the concerning part. You are raising children who is not going to be seen either. You're not seen, you wasn't seen, you're mad about that. You're going to make sure you're seen, and you're going to make sure you're heard, and yet you are neglecting and doing the same thing to your child. You may roll over to never being happy when it comes to a job, friends, girlfriend, boyfriend, um not satisfied with life. Imagine living your whole life in a world and not being satisfied ever. I am not dragging it. There are a lot of people out here who are that, who is that, who is this is going on for real. Okay? They call it all kinds of things, okay, from spirituality to earthly when it comes to wandering, okay, restless souls and X, Y, and Z. But the reality of it is you're not happy. Like, you're constantly on the go. You're not happy. It's an entitlement, though. It's an entitlement. I need you guys to understand that it's an entitlement. It's an entitlement why you're not happy. It's an entitlement. You feel entitled to something that probably doesn't even freaking exist. And you don't know it. And you don't know it. A lot of the times we're in the midst of the storm, we don't know. If you stay in the storm, you're never going to know. Being entitled is serious, it's dangerous, and it ain't for the weak. It is not for the weak. It is not. It's not. It's not for the weak. Okay, so if you dating an entitled person, I know you're struggling. I know you're struggling. Like, I know you're struggling all the time with dating an entitled person. I know you're struggling with having friendships with entitled people. I know you're struggling with entitled children. I know you're struggling. The people that deal with the entitled people, I know you're struggling. I know you're struggling. Okay, but I got something for y'all. I got something to fix it, or I don't know if it's gonna fix the problem, but it's gonna teach you how to manage the problem. Okay. All right. I'm not a fixer, I'm not a doctor, but I can help you manage some issues. Okay. I know a little bit about a lot. I could help you manage some issues. And entitlement is something that I could probably help you manage. Just stay to the end of the episode. Okay. Yeah. So that's crazy. Whew. Entitled people, they adopt self-made goals. No, excuse me. They adopt self-image goals. Okay. That goes back to me saying that they think that there's somebody that they're not. Period. All right. We ain't gotta break it down, how to break it down or whatever case may be. But they are providing this image that and image goals, right? Thinking that you ain't putting no work in to be there. Like you ain't doing nothing. I don't understand. Like, what's the plan? You ain't putting in that work of who you think you are. Okay? We all have divine power. We all have a bigger goal. Okay? We all have a talent. We all have mastery and things of that nature. But we all got to work for it. We all got to work for it. We all have to do something that is equivalent to where we see ourselves. Okay? And if we are not on that path, then something ain't right. Something just ain't right. Okay? I'm just saying. I know some people will agree. I know some people won't agree. More than likely, the entitled people will not agree. But more than likely, the people who are dealing with the entitled people, they're gonna see my vision. Okay, they're gonna know facts when it's facts, because I'm not speaking nothing but facts. These are facts. Okay, I am a behavior-based individual. All right, it's not too much you could tell me. I'm gonna watch you. These are facts. Facts. Ooh. Mm. Mm. So I said entitled people adopt self-made goals, right? That aim to defend positive image. Okay. So then we have a lot of those too. We have a lot of people who pretend to be like this positive person or whatever the case may be, and they're really not. Okay. Positive does not mean perfect. Positive does not mean perfection. Positive does not mean I'm not going to be sturdy or have boundaries, right? Positive means that I'm going to manage problems. And a lot of people display that, right? I mean, not display it. A lot of people talk that talk or whatever the case may be, but their actions are saying something completely different. Okay. Entitled people, that's what they do. Which can and will eventually lead to interpersonal conflicts and hostility. Once again, fighting with yourself. It's amazing to me though how everything that I'm like reading or everything that I research or even my opinion or whatever case is, it kind of like goes based back to like entitled people having issues with themselves. And I do a lot of research when it comes to different topics, right? And throughout the years of Drop the Mic Live Mic. And this one has been the one that it has a lot of how you say it, like interpersonal problems. I'm gonna be honest with you. Entitlement. Yeah. Y'all dealing with a lot of conflict within. Okay. It's more trauma with self than anything else. Okay. Granted, it starts with, something that may have happened to you as a child or whatever the case may be, but we all have the tendency and the vernacular to grow out of those things. Okay. But a lot of the times we like it to the extent of like entitlement, like in this category per se. We may just like it because it's like now it's like, all right, well, I got my shit off at 16. Like I told somebody off, whatever case may be. And I like that feeling. Like that was an empowering feeling. Like that did it for me. You know, that rush was like, oh, we don't know how to come back down from that or whatever the case may be. And then it's like, okay, well, we on go now. Mm-hmm. It's that. Okay. It is very much that. I'm just saying. So, people, I mentioned where entitlement comes from. I meant where it can come from. I mentioned all the different ways of entitlement. I mentioned the different definitions of entitlement. Um, I mentioned how people deal with people with entitlement. Like I know y'all struggling for real, you know, and I asked y'all to stay to the end. So I'm just gonna give y'all little ones and twos on how to deal with the people that are entitled. Okay. When they start entitling with you. Okay. Boundaries is always healthy. We all know that boundaries is boundarying. And what I mean by that is like you having boundaries can save you from almost everything. Like from almost everything. Okay. Yes, to a certain extent, it's a guard, right? But boundaries does not have to be a guard. Okay. Boundaries are for you and for the other person. All right. It's not just to have a wall up for you so nobody can get in. No, if you are a healthy and whole person, you know how to demonstrate boundaries and live life. Okay. If you are on a verge of being healthy and whole, you know how to demonstrate boundaries and live life. Okay. Now, what I will say is that some boundaries are a little stronger than others, like depending on the situation and depending on the person, it might be a little stronger than others. But boundaries, you can definitely set them and still live life. Okay. So when it comes to entitled people, I think that is one of those. I think that you can have boundaries. You have to have boundaries with people and but still live life. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, their dilemma with entitlement is more interpersonal. They're already struggling on their own, in their head, all the time. Okay? Don't take it personal. Set your boundaries, keep it moving. Okay? Don't take it personal. Don't be a fool and don't feel guilty. Set your boundaries and keep it moving. Okay? Another thing that you guys can do with people that are dealing with people that are entitled, okay? You can educate them on the risks that they face. All right. So sometimes people who are entitled, they're not aware of how much they're like throwing out to the other person. Okay. Like they know that they're entitled and they know, you know, how they feel or whatever the case may be, but they're not always aware of how much that they're throwing off. Okay. And how much they're throwing you off. All right. So, what we can do, because we here to help, what we can do is we can basically make them aware, like make them self-aware. You know what I'm saying? Like make them aware, be like, you know, your ego is like you tripping right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you know, I noticed this, or I noticed that, or you know what I'm saying? Like you need this all the time, or you need that all the time, whatever case may be. And it's kind of like, you know, even though they're gonna get offended because they are entitled or whatever, it might hit a little different if it's coming from someone you love or from someone who feels love. You know, just because you're entitled doesn't necessarily mean that you don't feel love, depending on who it's coming from. So it doesn't hurt to try. It doesn't hurt to try. You have to set those boundaries. Boundaries are healthy. Boundaries are healthy. Boundaries are healthy. Okay. Avoid them if and when possible. You have to love people from a distance sometime. Absolutely. Because the ones that don't want to change at all, okay, they not hearing you anyway. They know who they are. And they like, and what? Who gonna change me? Who gonna say what? This is what it is, and this is what it ain't. Okay. And they're stuck in that constant thought process. So avoid them at all costs if possible. Because one thing is for certain and two things is for sure, baby. We don't have time for that. We don't. We do not have time for entitled people who do not want to change anything about their entitlement and who just wants to be entitled and don't care about your feelings. Okay. And don't care about nothing. Entitled what? Entitled who? Avoid at all costs. Okay. And don't feel no type of way about it. Because they don't really care. They know who they are. Like, they don't care. I promise you, they don't care. Like, it's okay. You're not gonna hurt their feelings. Okay, they don't care. Like, who cares? You know, life goes on. Like, on to the next. Like, who's gonna accept me for who I am because I am who I am? That's what that is. Okay, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But you know, we joke, we laugh, but most of all, drop the mic, live mic. We come on here to conquer. Okay. My goal is to change as many people perspectives on life as I can. Okay. Do I want to change you? No, I don't. Do I want you to see things from a different perspective? Absolutely. I'm an optimistic person. I'm an optimism. I am that. Okay. Um, I I'm strong in who I am as well as a person. That's the human nature, right? However, I am open and willing all the time to see other people's behaviors and perspectives and things like that. And most importantly, because I definitely know that it's necessary in order to grow, you must change. Okay. It is inevitable to not have change in growth. Okay. We have to realize that. We have to realize that. We have to realize that and we have to recognize that. And as much as we have these normal adult human beings walking around, looking normal, sounding normal, fooling as normal, perpetrating as normal, and things like that, we have a lot of differences. We come from a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different environments. A lot of us are still living in what we were living in as children, which makes it extra hard for us to get out of that mental space. And a lot of us are not living a normal lifestyle. Okay. And it comes with trauma and it comes with differences in opinions when it comes to our mental state and our mental stability and all of those things that come with that. Okay. Entitlement is serious. It is one of those things that can it be equivalent to suicide for real if you really think about it. And we have a lot of people out here who have committed suicide and we don't know why. And we never find out why. And if we knew more about the small things, right? The underlying things that we deal with on a daily basis, and we were more aware, we would be able to help someone else. Okay. So This is what Drop the Mic Live Mic is all about. I will catch you guys on another Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want y'all guys to share this live and don't be a stranger. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of y'all probably didn't get a chance to see my live. However, the replay is going to be replaying all week. So stay tuned.